Welcome to White Space, Data Center Dynamics weekly look at the news in our sector. So this week, let's start with sad news as data centers close down. Netflix is closing all its data centers, the few it has left. It's obviously, they're moving stuff elsewhere, they're putting it on the public cloud, which is an interesting thing for many reasons.
We've been predicting that's going to happen, haven't we? But this is a big, one of the biggest major companies, corporates, to do that.
Yes. Okay. First of all, they still own a lot of equipment and hardware, but basically they own the content delivery network. They don't care what goes on in the data center. It doesn't have to be that good as long as the content delivery network's there.
Right.
And Netflix has equipment in all the ISPs around the world, so that...
Is that their own equipment? So like they're not using services by anyone else?
Yeah, so they can cache their stuff. So the fact that they've moved their IT out of their own data centers is just shows the really important thing for Netflix is their delivery network, not the data center.
And what sort of uptime are they going to have with this then? Do they estimate any uptime? Because obviously Netflix, for us, it's going to be 100%.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's an interesting thing too. Netflix started to move out of its own data centers because of a failure they had in 2008 in their own data centers, and they figured Amazon would be more reliable. And by coincidence, this week we've had an outage in Amazon, starting in a North Virginia data center of Amazon's. But my reading of this is that Netflix could care less. In fact, I should think the Amazon failure had very little impact on them because all the content people were looking for was already in their content delivery network.
Actually, that's clever. That's clever. Yeah.
All their customer-facing stuff has been on Amazon Web Services for 2 years already. The stuff they've moved off their data centers is their own back office stuff.
Right. So this could actually give confidence to quite a lot of other big companies who want to do this, because this is it's not a new model, but it's quite a clever model, isn't it? So what really matters is on the customer stuff's on the cloud, but if something goes down the back end, well, if you can get there quick enough, it might not affect it.
Yes, but at the same time, they don't have any data to protect, right? The major criticism of the cloud is you don't have control over your own data, and somebody else might just walk in and take it all. Netflix doesn't have that problem.
Good point.
I mean, even their series, they're released all at once, so you can binge watch.
Right. So in other words, if you're a bank, then you've got a different problem.
Right. Yep. And someone who could probably learn from what Netflix is doing is Amazon. Because Amazon Web Services is supporting what Netflix does, but Amazon itself is a competitor of Netflix. It has its own streaming video services. And Amazon, despite pushing everybody else on the public cloud, still has a lot of its own IT in its own data centers.
Does it?
So Amazon, so in this respect, Amazon is supporting its competitor to go further to the public cloud than it has itself. What have you been watching this week then, Max?
Yes, well, I've been watching the news from the Flash Memory Summit, and every year it's getting bigger and more important, and it's just crazy, the amount of announcements this year. And it's not just Flash. So basically,
tell us about Flash first, though, because surely it's going to wipe out the hard drives. How long till data centers don't have any hard drives left?
Yes, so there was a very interesting piece of research from Wikibon this week, and they predict that Flash will overtake hard drives in terms of shipments by 2018. And by 2026, hard drives will be pretty much wiped out. So they're going to be relegated for cold storage, archiving, but no one is ever going to put anything important on there. It's usually the stuff sort of like write once, read never.
That's right. And that's something we've never heard before, apart from all the other times we've heard it.
Tape is coming back as well, isn't it?
But, okay, given that, so it's all going to go to Flash?
Yes, apparently so, but not just Flash. So, so on the Flash side, SanDisk and Toshiba started producing bigger 256 gigabit chips. This means, cheaper Flash, more of it in your drives, and it's an overall good thing. But a Flash Memory Summit is not all about Flash. So, for example, we have things like ReRAM. Now, ReRAM is the clues in the name. It's kind of similar to normal RAM, so it's got insanely fast speeds. But problem with your typical DRAM is it can't store information after you switch off the computer. So and furthermore, it needs to blast the memory several times a second with electricity just to keep the data in there. And that's a very tricky process. It's a very power-consuming process. There are several alternatives, and some of them are going to appear on the market next year. So we've got phase change memory, and we've got ReRAM. And both of them are, they offer about the same speeds, but are non-volatile, which means they can store the data if something goes wrong in the event of a power failure, you know, like, and just generally use it as a new layer of crazy fast storage. HTC and Mellanox are cooperating on phase change memory. They're making it more suitable for in-memory databases. And the trick here is networking architecture, because you need to unite all these pools of memory together to create, you know, this new super fast storage layer. ReRAM, on the other hand, is being developed now by Viking Technology and Sony, among others. And yeah, they're saying they're gonna. It's just as good. It's non-volatile. It's crazy fast, much faster than Flash, and more durable.
Bill, you've been looking at Munters.
Munters, a wonderful Swedish company. They've released an iPhone application for HVAC engineers, as air specialists, and it's called ProApp Datacom. And it's a tool that allows the engineers to determine the correct airflow rates for sizing of data center cooling and air handling systems within the data center. So you can go into the data center, take the reading, and it will send it back to your computer or back to your, it will even send it back to Munters, who will very, very happily tell you which of their particular air conditioning units you can use. Other air conditioning units are available, but it's quite good. I mean, imagine HVAC engineers would be quite happy about it. They've got something they can use in situ instead of some huge, great big thing they've got to roll around on wheels.
And potentially it saves them having to visit the site if they can use it remotely.
Yes.
Good. I suppose it's too much to hope that Munters has gamified it and turned it into a sort of HVAC simulator game.
We'll suggest that to them, but not so far.
How exciting would that be, though? HVAC simulator.
Okay.
Copyright here.
And this week, none of us have been to any data center openings. Do keep inviting us. But we've seen reports from some quite interesting ones. The Switch opened its gigantic SuperNAP 9 in Las Vegas.
Is it 9 already?
Yeah, it's 9 already,
oh
and it's huge, yes. It's another 470,000 square feet.
Wow.
It's got 50 megawatts of power and a PUE of 1.18. And the thing that I liked was the picture we saw of the ribbon cutting, because you have to have a celebrity.
And the celebrity in this case.
Yes.
There's a real celebrity, isn't it?
Last time I went to an opening, it was in Crawley, where I saw Rackspace opening, where they had the local MP cutting the ribbon. Whereas, you know, in Las Vegas, they've got a robot. So, you know, inhuman.
So doesn't claim expenses.
But essentially the same thing.
Yes, that's right. An inhuman creature that follows orders.
And there's a great photograph of it.
Yes.
The picture is really good.
Yes, Metal Rebel, who in fact actually has quite a serious connection with SuperNAP, because he was built by the University of Las Vegas, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, who also have a supercomputer which is hosted elsewhere in one of the other SuperNAPs.
Right.
Thank you for joining us. See you next week.